What if I told you that one of the most anticipated new communities in all of Southwest Florida is officially starting to take shape right here in Estero? And after recently driving through the site and filming all of this footage myself, I can tell you things are moving fast. We're now seeing multiple sections of Kingston actively under construction on both sides of Corkscrew Road. Model homes are going vertical, infrastructure is underway, and a huge amount of activity is happening behind the scenes. And stick around, because later in this video, I'm going to break down the exact floor plans coming from Pulte, Lennar, Neal communities, and Taylor Morrison, the attached villas that are now confirmed, the differences between Kingston South and Esplanade at Kingston, price ranges that we're dying to hear, and the massive amenity package planned for Kingston South, including pickleball courts, indoor and out, basketball courts, tennis courts, water slides, and a lagoon-style pool that honestly looks like the place at Corkscrew on steroids. And if you want all of this information sent to your inbox for one easy place, including all the floor plans, pricing releases, Homesite maps, builder upgrades, incentives, and major Kingston news as it happens, make sure you join my Kingston interest list. It's linked in the description below, or you can scan the QR code right here on the screen. Because honestly, there's already so much information coming from multiple builders, communities, and releases. And my goal is to make this the easiest way for you to stay informed about all things Kingston without having to constantly search for updates yourself. Hi, I'm Kelly Olin, co-founder and team leader of Residence by eXp Realty. I live right here in Estero, just down the road from Kingston, and my team and I specialize in new construction communities throughout Southwest Florida. I actually started my career with Pulte Homes years ago before transitioning to real estate here in Southwest Florida. So helping buyers navigate builder contracts, home sites, floor plans, upgrades, and new communities like this is a huge part of what we do every day. Over the past several years, I've personally sold hundreds of homes throughout communities like the Place at Corkscrew, Verdana Village, Corkscrew Shores, River Creek, Esplanade Lake Club, and Timber Creek, and many of the major new construction communities throughout this entire area. So as Kingston continues evolving, my goal is really simple: to make this the easiest place for buyers to stay informed on all things Kingston. Now, quick question for you. If you were building your dream Florida home, would you rather have a super active, social, resort-style community or something a little bit more luxury and wellness focused? Which is your preference? Let me know in the comments below, because Kingston may eventually offer both. And if you want all the builder upgrades, floor plans, pricing releases, Homesite maps, incentives, and major Kingston news, all organized into one concise update, make sure you join my Kingston interest list that's linked below, or you can scan the QR code on the screen. Because honestly, there's already so much information coming from multiple builders and communities. My goal is to make this the easiest and most organized way to stay in the know without having to constantly search for updates yourself or scroll through multiple emails. All right, let's get into what we know so far. One thing that's becoming much clearer now that Kingston is really developing as two major lifestyle communities happening simultaneous on opposite sides of Corkscrew Road. On the south side, you have Kingston South, which includes Pulte Homes, Lennar, and Neal communities. Then, directly across the street on the north side of Corkscrew Road, you have Esplanade at Kingston by Taylor Morrison. And although they're a part of the larger Kingston master plan, they definitely appear to be targeting slightly different lifestyles and buyer profiles. Overall, Kingston is planned as a massive master plan community with future residential neighborhoods, commercial development, recreation, trails, dining, wellness, and lifestyle amenities all integrated together. And honestly, this feels much bigger than just another neighborhood release. It feels like an entire new phase of growth for the Corkscrew corridor, similar to something like an Ave Maria or a Babcock Ranch. Kingston South is being positioned as a more active, multi-generational, recreational-focused community centered around social living and sports amenities. Plans currently call for approximately 3,625 homes, with Kingston South alone making it the very large-scale community. The overall vibe feels active, social, family-oriented, and sports-focused. Then, across the street, Esplanade at Kingston feels like a more elevated lifestyle-sided project. That section is expected to include approximately 1,285 homes and appears to be more wellness-focused, curated, and service-oriented overall. If you're familiar with Esplanade Lake Club in Fort Myers, I think that's probably the best comparison for a direction that Taylor Morrison is trying to go here. Personally, I would expect Esplanade at Kingston to attract luxury second home buyers, retirees, and buyers looking for a more upscale resort experience overall. Now, in just a minute, I'm going to break down the exact floor plans expected from Pulte, Lennar, Neal Communities, and Taylor Morrison, including attached villas, multi-generational layouts, and some brand new models we haven't really seen yet here in Southwest Florida. But first, let's start over on the south side of Corkscrew Road, because this is where I was recently out filming and where things are really starting to become visible. Pulte is already well underway building their models on site. From what we're hearing, Pulte is planning to open 4 decorated models later this year, including the Easley, Flagstone, Mystique, and the Serena. If the Easley sounds familiar, it's because it was previously offered at Bonita del Sol, and buyers really loved this layout. The Flagstone is a new plan with just over 1,500 square feet. Think of it as a wider, more efficient version of plans like the Contour or Hallmark, and they're also offering this right now as well at Verdana Village. Then you've got the Mystique, formerly known as the Summerwood, which continues to be one of the most popular floor plans throughout Southwest Florida. And then there's the Serena, which is probably the most interesting addition because it's expected to be a true multi-generational floor plan designed for extended family living, guest flexibility, aging parents, or long-term family accommodations. And that's something that we're seeing become much more popular here in Southwest Florida. I've also filmed walkthroughs of the Easley, Mystique, so I'll link those videos below for you as well. And by the way, if you want all of these floor plans, pricing releases, Homesite maps, builder upgrades, and Kingston news directly in your inbox, make sure you join that Kingston interest list linked below or scan the QR code on the screen. Now let's talk about Lennar. When I was recently out there filming, I did not see any Lennar models under construction yet, but I do know a little bit more about the floor plans that are expected inside Kingston South. Current expectations include the Venice, Trevi, Somerville, Amalfi, Sorrento, and potentially the return of the Sunset floor plan, which many buyers were disappointed to see got removed from Verdana Village in Phase 2. Another big update, Lennar is also expecting to offer up the attached villas inside Kingston South. So this community is clearly being designed for a broad range of buyers and price points. From what I'm hearing, Lennar is also making some modifications to some of those floor plans based on buyer feedback from previous communities. So stay tuned for a twist on some of the oldies but goodies. Now let's talk about Neal Communities, because I know a lot more than I have previously. Neal currently has 7 different models in Kingston South, including single-story, 2-story, and attached villas. Some of the floor plans expected include the Heritage 2, the Harvest 3, the Savannah 2, Crystal Sand 2, and twin attached villas. They're also constructing their Welcome Center and Design Center on site, which will eventually be converted into homes later on. Pricing is currently expected to range from the $400,000s to over $1 million, depending on the home site and floor plan. And honestly, Neal tends to bring a slightly more architectural and design-forward feel compared to some traditional production builders. Their homes generally have nice curb appeal, great outdoor living spaces, and a coastal-inspired architecture. Now let's talk about the amenities, because this is where Kingston South really starts separating itself from a lot of the other communities here in Southwest Florida. Based on the latest amenity plans, this is shaping up to be one of the most sports-focused and socially driven resort communities we've ever seen in this area. The centerpiece appears to be the massive indoor and outdoor recreational complex designed around fitness, entertainment, and community interaction. And one of the biggest standouts, 12 indoor pickleball courts. Not 2, not 4, 12 indoor pickleball courts. And honestly, if you live in Southwest Florida, indoor recreation during the summer months becomes a huge benefit. There's a total of 20 outdoor pickleball courts as well, but it goes way beyond pickleball. Current plans also include full court indoor and outdoor basketball courts, 5 outdoor tennis courts plus a dedicated practice tennis court, bocce courts, aerobics and movement studios, fitness and functional training spaces, a large fitness center, tournament seating areas, and tournament staging plazas for organized sports events. It really feels like they're trying to create an actual sports and recreation hub here, not just a standard clubhouse. Then on the entertainment and resort side, the centerpiece appears to be a massive lagoon-style pool that honestly reminds me of the place at Corkscrew, but on steroids. We're talking water slides, waterfall features, a lagoon-style pool with family-friendly pool spaces, an oversized spa, and even a separate lap pool. The plans also include a full-service restaurant, outdoor dining, patio bars, outdoor social areas, game lawns, cafe seating, a saloon-style environment space, and an outdoor stage for live music and community events. Additional planned amenities include a dog park, playground, multi-purpose event fields, cafe and ice cream area, social club spaces, and community gathering areas throughout the Amenity campus. Overall, Kingston South really feels designed for people who want an active social lifestyle with lots happening inside the community itself. Now let's head across Corkscrew Road to what may end up becoming the more luxury side of Kingston overall. Esplanade at Kingston by Taylor Morrison. Taylor Morrison already has multiple models under construction, and this community definitely appears to be taking a different direction compared to Kingston South. If you're familiar with the Esplanade brand already, you know that Taylor Morrison tends to focus heavily on luxury resort living, wellness, elevated amenities, concierge-style services, and lifestyle programming. Personally, I expect Esplanade at Kingston to feel more refined, more upscale, and more service-oriented overall. I would also not be surprised if we eventually see things like towel service at the pools and fitness center, spa wellness amenities, elevated dining experiences, concierge-style programming, and highly curated resident events similar to other Esplanade communities. Taylor Morrison is expected to offer a slew of different floor plans, including the Farnese, Monte, Cresta, Merino, Ravina, Genoa, attached villas, single-story, and two-story homes. Pricing is expected to start in the low 400s and can increase depending on the collection of Homesite, well over $1 million. Another important piece of the Kingston vision that I think will matter to a lot of relocating families is the educational component tied to the community. One of the things being discussed publicly within the Kingston Master Plan is a future charter school concept connected to the True North Classical Academy. And if you're not familiar with True North, they focus on a more classical educational model centered around academics, leadership, structure, and character development. And honestly, one of the biggest questions I get from relocating families is always, what about the schools? So the possibility of eventually integrating educational opportunities directly into the larger Kingston vision could become a major draw for families moving to this area. Now, obviously, everyone wants to know pricing. While pricing is still evolving as builders prepare for releases, there's a general range that we're hearing so far. Villas beginning in the low 400,000s, mid-sized single-family homes moving through the 500s and 600,000s, and larger estate-style homes potentially reaching $1 million plus, depending on the builder, home site, and upgrades. And remember, because Kingston is still early in development, buyers who get in soon will have the best opportunity for early home site selection, launch pricing, builder incentives, and potential appreciation over time as the amenities get built out. If you want the easiest way to stay updated on all things Kingston, yet again, don't forget to join my interest list. You can scan the code right on the screen or see the link in the description. As more builders release information, my team and I will continue sending concise, organized updates covering everything that you need to know so that you don't miss out. And just so you know, not only do I live right here in Estero, just down the road from Kingston, but I'm also one of the top selling agents in the place at Corkscrew, and I've personally sold hundreds of homes with builders throughout this area. It would be my pleasure to guide you through this entire process, and if you have a home to sell, we can help you with that as well. I actually started my career with Pulte Homes, so I have a deep understanding of the building process, from selecting the right home site, to understanding upgrades that truly add value on the resale end, to helping buyers navigate incentives and builder contracts. If you found this video helpful, make sure you hit subscribe and join my Kingston interest list so you don't miss any future updates, because things are going to be moving very quickly from here on out. And if you have a question, drop them in the comments below or shoot me a text. I am happy to help. Again, my name's Olin, co-founder and team leader of Residence by eXp Realty, and I will see you in the next video.